Hey everybody, welcome to Vigilant Citizen. My name is Josh. I'm back in the car again. It's a nice day outside, but it is a little windy, so I figured just to help prevent any extraneous sounds from coming into the microphone, I'd sit in my mobile studio. So recently, my wife put on a movie. She always puts on a movie at night, just usually through her phone, her mobile device. And the other night she put on The Lion King, and I couldn't fall asleep. So I was just sitting there listening to it, and I'm talking about the original, 1995 animated version of The Lion King, the good one, the one that has good voice acting and good visuals and heart and soul, not the 2019 diversity hire version of The Lion King. So, I grew up watching The Lion King. I loved that show as a kid. I would come home every day from school and watch it when I was 10 or something like that. And I never really paid attention to it much. It had flashy visuals. It had, lions running around, and it was fun. And I liked the music and stuff like that. But as I was sitting there the other night listening to it, because I couldn't fall asleep, I realized that it's actually got some pretty good messages. It's got some depth and, like I said, some heart and some soul to it. And so I just wanted to cover some of those really briefly, because I think they're worth kind of probing into a little bit, and I won't spend too much time on it. But I was surprised at how some of it parallels some of the overarching philosophy, the clashing philosophies we're seeing, especially in the US right now. So when Simba, the young cub, is born, Scar, the uncle, the brother of the current king, Mufasa, is really angry because now he's no longer first in line for becoming king after Mufasa dies, right? So Mufasa is portrayed as a kind and wise, benevolent king who takes his responsibility as king seriously. He also enjoys the perks. One of the first things you see in the movie is he's surrounded by a bunch of young, sleek lionesses, so good for him, good for that guy. But Scar is jealous, and he makes it clear that he's jealous and he's angry, and so he starts plotting the death of... He plots to kill Simba so that he can be next in line again, as he was before Simba was born. So Simba has his own arc. He starts out by thinking that being king just means you get to do whatever you want. It's all showcased in that first song, I Just Can't Wait to Be King. He's talking about how he's just going to have fun, they're just going to do whatever they want, he doesn't have to listen to anybody, he can hang around with his friends, he can laze around, he can eat whatever he wants, do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. So he has a very poor understanding of what it means to be a wise and capable leader. He just thinks it's all about the perks, right? He sees what his dad gets to enjoy, and he thinks, I want that. So he's not that different from Scar, right? This is the same reason Scar wants it. Scar doesn't necessarily want to be responsible for the safety and security and the health of the Pride Lands or of anybody living in there. He just wants the power, and he wants all the perks that comes with it. So Scar eventually... He's not successful in killing Simba, but he is successful in deposing Mufasa and outright murdering him. And he blames it on Simba. Simba is then exiled, and Scar brings in all the hyenas who just bring chaos and devastation throughout the entire Pride Lands, right? So I'm trying to think what the hyenas might represent. Maybe they're just sort of chaos, right? He invites chaos in, and chaos does its thing. It degrades everything around it when it goes too far, and it brings utter annihilation and destruction of life and everything that's orderly about life, right? So Simba's exiled, and he meets Timon and Pumbaa, right? They teach him Hakuna Matata, no worries. Basically what they're teaching him is nihilism, right? Timon he's basically sloth, or apathy, right? One of the 7 deadly sins. And Pumbaa is... I'm spacing on it right now. I can't remember what the other one is. Gluttony. Pumbaa represents gluttony, right? So Simba adopts this. He refuses or denies his true nature. He stops being a hunter. He kind of forgets that he's a lion. he embraces apathy and to some extent gluttony, but mostly apathy. And basically he's plunged into nihilism. He even says things like, it's in the past, it doesn't matter, these things don't matter, who cares what tomorrow brings, I'm just going to worry about today, and I'm going to eat grubs and sing songs and things like that. So he descends into nihilism until he's reminded of his responsibility by his childhood friend who reappears. And she successfully guilt trips him into returning to the Pride Lands to take up the mantle of responsibility that he abdicated in the past. So I don't exactly know what she represents, other than perhaps, I mean, there is an aspect of guilt there that she represents, but she's also just that sort of, that nagging, lingering realization that you've left something behind that you need to come back and recapture. So he returns to Pride Rock, and he faces Scar, and he has to face all of his demons, right? He has to face his demons before he can defeat Scar, because Scar blames him, and he blames himself for the death of his own father, and he has to admit that in front of the entire Pride, until he realizes the truth, that Scar actually did it. So he has to own up to what he's done and what brought him here. But I think the interesting thing is that he would not be able to defeat Scar without first realizing his own demons and overcoming those and just confronting them head on. He's been hiding from it. He hasn't been thinking about it. He's been pushing it aside, but it's still lingering there, right? And only with the help of a wise baboon or mandrill friend, who knows what Rafiki actually is. What does Rafiki even represent? That guy, maybe he's the good version of Chaos. I don't know, but he's pretty funny in the movie. He's one of the few characters that actually makes me laugh now as an adult. As a kid, other things made me laugh in there, but now when I see it as an adult, I'm like, okay, that one was just for the kids. But Rafiki is genuinely funny. You know, who cares? It is in the past. So Simba defeats Scar and takes his place as king, and lives happily ever after. Typical sort of Disney animated movie, right? Except his dad is still dead. But no, I just think it's interesting because there's this notion of nihilism in the movie that I never really realized. He's just descending into further darkness and avoiding his responsibility, and it affects everybody around him. So, I mean, in my last video I talked about you have influence, and I think this is a good story about how you can influence people or lions for good or for worse, and sometimes just abdicating your responsibility is a poor use of your own influence. You have to stay in the mix. You have to come back. You have to face your own demons, and you have to face people who are evil. You have to face those things in the world that are evil. Yeah, because I'm just going to call it like it is. There are people who are evil. Scar is the hyenas are probably the version, the representation of evil and chaos, because they're irredeemable, whereas Scar has plenty of opportunities to redeem himself, but he chooses not to. So I think that's what I wanted to say about it. I'll probably have more thoughts after I turn this off, because the movie is a little deeper than it originally let on when I watched it as a kid. But I think those are the overarching themes worth pointing out, and maybe I'll go watch it again. I didn't really get to watch it. I was just, trying to doze off, going to sleep. So maybe I'll just pop that in later today and actually really fully get the full thing, because the animation's pretty good, right? The animation's, they don't animate like that anymore. It's all CGI and it looks fake, and I mean, geez, I saw a couple clips of the new Lion King, and what trash, just what utter trash. There's no soul, no heart. The voice acting is awful. Even what's his name? I'm sorry, I'm spacing on his name. The guy who plays Mufasa, even he just sounds tired, like he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to do it again. I don't know what it is about these companies and just ramming things into the ground, but they're really enjoying it. They're really enjoying taking things from my childhood and saying, hey, did you like the one that you saw when you were growing up? Well, guess what? We have a worse version of it, and we're going to put it out in theaters, and you're going to like it. And if you don't, you're misogynistic or racist. So that's fine. They can say whatever they want. They wrong. Maybe they're the personification of evil. Maybe they're the hyenas. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Thanks for listening in. Thanks for watching. If you have anything you want to add to the conversation, you know where to put it. There's comments down below, etc. And if you didn't notice, I did put a game of me and my brother playing Age of Empires. I'm probably going to start doing that a little more often. I think it can be fun. Expand this channel a little bit, so it's a little bit of me talking about philosophy and things like that. But also, you know, if I could somehow tie philosophical thoughts and ideas to some of the games I play, that could be interesting. But we'll see. I don't know if it's going to happen. Alright, well, check out my Rumble account over there, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.